In the silence of early morning, when the wind carries an unusual weight and the sky seems to whisper of something unseen, that is when the spirit listens more closely. The body may still feel the same, the surroundings may not have changed, but something within you begins to stir. It's a quiet unease, not always born from fear, but from a knowing something is shifting. Something ancient, something sacred. God said the apocalypse is near, and this month could change everything. Not because it must, but because it is time. And what most people see as the end is often the beginning in disguise. The first truth to understand is this: transformation is always born in chaos. You see, the universe does not evolve in silence. Birth is messy. Rebirth is even more so. If you look to nature, you will find your answers. Forests do not grow until the old leaves have fallen. The snake does not step into power until it has shed its skin. And the phoenix is not reborn from comfort, it is reborn from fire. It is so easy for the human mind to avoid chaos, to pray only for peace, to desire quiet days and soft outcomes. But what if the chaos you fear is not your enemy? What if it is your invitation to become who you were truly meant to be? Shi Heng Yi teaches that nothing in nature rushes, yet everything is accomplished. What looks like sudden collapse is often years in the making, a sacred timing where all false layers are peeled away so truth can stand unclothed. The pain we feel during such moments is not random. It is precise. It is tailored for our evolution. There is intelligence behind every fall, every betrayal, every ending. Not punishment, preparation. Not chaos, calibration. And in the moment of greatest despair, when all seems lost, when even prayer feels like an echo fading into darkness, that is when something subtle is happening within you. A shift, a recalibration of soul, a deeper remembering. So when this month comes upon you with heaviness, when news breaks your rhythm, when people disappear, when plans unravel, pause, do not react. Breathe, stand still in the center of the storm, and look within. Ask not, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, what is this trying to wake up inside of me? That one shift in perspective opens the gates to transformation. Because the truth is, nothing real can be destroyed. Only illusions fall, only masks get ripped away, only the ego trembles, the soul remains. The soul does not fear the apocalypse, the soul recognizes it. Transformation requires friction. You cannot sharpen a blade without grinding it. You cannot strengthen a muscle without tearing its fibers. You cannot awaken a human being without challenging their comfort. In times of chaos, the undisciplined scatter, the fearful retreat, and the wise listen. That is what you are being called to do. Listen, not with your ears, but with your being. There are messages written not in words, but in feelings. When your breath shortens, when your heart races, when your nights are sleepless, the body is not malfunctioning. It is translating something higher, a spiritual signal, a divine pressure. God does not destroy. He dissolves what is no longer true. He breaks what no longer serves, and he tests what is ready to grow. You are being asked to release the old identity, the roles you clung to, the dreams that were never truly yours. What is falling apart around you may simply be revealing what was never built to last. In chaos, your false self cannot survive. That is the gift. And though it may not feel like a gift, though it may feel like a gift, though it may feel like a stripping, a burning, a death, it is sacred. It is alchemy. It is the divine path toward becoming. When the outer world crumbles, the inner world is activated. That's when your breath matters more than your words. That's when your presence becomes your power. That's when your actions slow down, but your awareness sharpens. Pay attention to what rises inside you during this month. The urges, the fears, the dreams, the regrets. They are not random, they are messages from your unconscious rising to the surface for review. And you must not run from them, you must sit with them, hold them, feel them, and then let them move through you. That is how chaos becomes clarity. There will be moments when it feels like everything is collapsing. That is the moment you choose. Will you be a victim of your circumstances or a master of your perception? You cannot control the storm, but you can control your alignment within it. You can control how deeply you root yourself in discipline, in truth, in presence. The external may scream, but your inner stillness becomes your lighthouse. And from this place, transformation is no longer something that happens to you. It becomes something that flows through you. You were not born to survive. You were born to evolve. And evolution is a painful, glorious, unpredictable process. Do not fear it. Embrace it. Welcome it. When the ground shakes beneath you, drop your resistance. When the sky darkens, open your heart wider. When everything you trusted dissolves, return to your breath. That is the constant, that is the thread connecting you to the divine. Even in the apocalypse, you are being guided. This month, things may fall away, people may disappoint you, structures may fail, emotions may overwhelm. Let them. Let the wave crash, let the fire burn, let the old fall. Because underneath it all, something eternal is rising. A version of you that is clearer, freer, deeper. A version of you that remembers why you are here, not to chase comfort, but to embody truth. Not to avoid endings, but to walk through them with eyes open and spine straight. This is not destruction, this is sacred disruption. The warrior does not train during peace, he trains during pressure. He sharpens his blade not when things are easy, but when things are uncertain. Likewise, your spirit grows not in the absence of chaos, but within it. Do not be afraid of the shaking. Be afraid of staying asleep. God is not trying to scare you, He is trying to wake you. He is whispering through every ending, you are ready now, you were built for this. You are built for this. So stand tall. Let go of the past. Surrender the illusion of control. Breathe into the unknown and remember, your strength was never in what you held on to. Your strength was always in your ability to transform. You are not here to return to the old normal. You are here to create the new real. That begins in chaos. That begins now. Transformation is not comfortable, but it is always worth it. And if you can hold yourself with grace in the storm, if you can face your fears without fleeing, if you can see the divine design even in destruction, you will not only survive this month, you will be reborn by it. God does not make mistakes. The pain is precise. The timing is perfect. The chaos is sacred. This is your moment. Let the old fall. Let the truth rise. Let yourself be remade. In every storm, there exists a center, a space untouched by the violence swirling around it. While the winds scream, while the clouds crack with thunder, while the world trembles beneath the weight of uncertainty, the eye of the storm remains calm, still, pure. And this is not accidental. It is nature's design. And more importantly, it is nature's message. In the very heart of chaos lies serenity, that which cannot be shaken, cannot be taken. In moments where everything seems to fall apart, this is what God invites you to remember, the power that resides in stillness. The apocalypse may be near, this month may challenge everything you've known, but within that storm, within the noise, within the shaking, there is a center within you that can remain absolutely still. And that stillness is not weakness, that stillness is your strength. Most people move faster when chaos arrives. They panic, they overthink, they argue, they chase answers, they try to fight fire with fire, noise with noise. But chaos does not ask for noise, it asks for awareness. When the world speeds up, wisdom tells you to slow down. When everything outside becomes louder, you must turn your attention inward. That is where the true compass lies. Shi Heng Yi teaches, when the external world is turbulent, The real test is whether you can remain grounded within. This is not an act of avoidance. This is an act of mastery. Because to meet chaos with stillness is to declare, I am not moved by circumstances. I am moved by clarity. There is a sacred power that awakens when you no longer let your emotions dominate your choices. Fear is loud, anger is loud, doubt is loud, but truth speaks in whispers. The still mind hears what the racing mind cannot. When the waves of life crash upon you and the tide of emotion rises high, it is your breath that becomes the bridge. Your breath is not just oxygen, it is a tool, a reminder, a discipline. When the storm roars, return to it. Inhale slowly, exhale fully. Again, and again, and again, until the inner noise settles, until the thoughts slow down, until the mind aligns with the heart. Stillness is a practice. It is not born overnight. It is not a reaction, it is a choice. In fact, the more chaos that surrounds you, the more intentional you must be in cultivating it. In the Shaolin Temple, warriors do not only train their bodies, they discipline their minds, because what use is strength if it is guided by panic? What use is knowledge if it is drowned by distraction? The strongest warrior is the one who remains unmoved, not because he doesn't feel, but because he chooses presence over panic. And you, too, must become that warrior now. This month may bring emotional storms. Events may unfold that shake your beliefs. People may act in ways that confuse or hurt you. Your plans may dissolve. Your illusions may crack. And in these moments, the world will tempt you to react, to shout, to defend, to run. But you must resist that temptation. Reaction is a habit of the unconscious. Stillness is the response of the awakened. And when you choose stillness, you reclaim your power. You begin to see clearly. You begin to feel deeply without being consumed. You begin to act not from fear, but from purpose. There is a place within you, deep, quiet, infinite, where no storm can reach. It is not found in your thoughts. It is not found in your possessions. It is not even found in your relationships. It is found only in your presence. That place is your true home, your true anchor. And when the world outside becomes too loud, too fast, too uncertain, you must return to it. You must sit with yourself in silence, even if the silence is uncomfortable. You must let the dust settle, the thoughts rise and fall, the emotions pass like waves, without clinging, without resisting. Just presence, just being, just breath. Stillness does not mean indifference. It does not mean passivity. It means clarity. It means responding with wisdom rather than reacting with fear. It means hearing what others cannot hear because they are too busy shouting. It means seeing patterns, sensing timing, understanding truth without needing noise to validate it. It means walking calmly into the storm because you know the storm cannot touch what is eternal within you. God never promised that life would be without storms, but He did place within each of us the capacity to remain calm through them. The apocalypse may come, the fire may spread, the ground may shake, but if you remember the stillness at your center, you will walk through it untouched, and more than untouched, you will emerge transformed. Stillness is not escape, it is evolution. It is the space in which your highest self begins to awaken. We live in a world addicted to movement, productivity, noise, distraction. People check their devices more than they check in with their spirit. They react before they reflect. They seek answers from the outside before they listen within. But truth is never found in chaos. Truth is born from silence. The more you practice stillness, the more you sharpen your inner vision. You begin to feel subtle shifts. You begin to hear the voice of your conscience. You begin to trust what cannot be proven but is deeply known. This month, as the outer world shifts, you are being called inward, not to hide but to listen, not to escape but to align. Your task is not to solve the storm. Your task is to stay grounded through it. When you learn to be still in the middle of turbulence, you discover a secret. The storm was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you, to show you what you've ignored, to strengthen what was weak, to clarify what was confused. And only stillness can give you access to that revelation. Even in moments of great uncertainty, you can return to the breath. You can anchor yourself in ritual. Wait before the world. Sit in silence. Move with intention. Speak with care. These practices are not minor. They are everything. They train the nervous system. They sharpen the spirit. They prepare you to stand still when others fall. To be calm when others panic. To act with purpose when others react from fear. Stillness gives you freedom. The freedom to pause. The freedom to feel without drowning. The freedom to wait until the right moment to move. It gives you space. And in that space, wisdom arises. That wisdom is not intellectual, it is felt. It guides you like a whisper in the wind, like a knowing in the bones. And it can only be heard in stillness. When God moves, He often begins by stilling everything else. He removes the noise so you can hear. He removes the distraction so you can see. He stills the outer world so that the inner world may speak. Do not fear the silence that surrounds you. Do not run from the emptiness. That emptiness is sacred. It is the space in which new life begins. The universe expands from silence. Your soul awakens from silence. Love first. Silence. Often let it be. Let this month be the month where you do not chase, you do not argue, you do not react. Let it be the month you return to your center. Let it be the month you remember the power of stillness. When others rush, slow down. When others panic, breathe deeper. When others distract themselves, face what you feel. The power is not in doing more. The power is in being fully present in what is. Stillness in the storm is not a performance. It is not for others to see. It is an inner alignment, a sacred bond between you and the divine, a space where you say, I trust, I surrender, I see, I do not need to understand everything to move forward. I do not need to control the outcome to remain committed. I do not need the world to be quiet for me to find peace, because peace is not the absence of chaos. Peace is the presence of truth, and truth always lives within. This is your task now. This is your training. Stillness is not about avoiding the world. It's about preparing to enter it fully. With eyes open, with heart grounded, with soul awake. Let others be loud. Let others seek control. You simply return to the breath. Return to awareness. Return to what cannot be taken from you. That is your power. That is your center. And from that center, you will not only survive this storm, you will rise with it. You will lead through it. You will emerge from it, not as the same person, but as a new creation entirely. Because stillness is not the end of movement. It is the root of right movement. From stillness comes clarity. From clarity comes direction. From direction comes impact. That is the sequence. That is the sacred rhythm. That is how warriors of the spirit walk through fire and do not burn. Let this month be your teacher. Let the silence speak. Let the chaos teach. Let the storm pass through you and leave you more whole, more wise, more still than ever before. Letting go. Two simple words that hold the weight of lifetimes. We spend so much of our lives holding on. We hold on to people, to identities, to stories, to memories. We hold on to who we thought we were supposed to become. We grip tightly to past pain, to future plans, to expectations that never belonged to us. And we carry them like stones, silently, often unknowingly, until one day the weight becomes unbearable. It is in that moment of breaking, that moment of fatigue, that the truth arrives. Letting go is not a failure. Letting go is not weakness. Letting go is a spiritual discipline. It takes great courage to release what once gave you comfort. It takes even more wisdom to know when something is no longer aligned with your path. But society does not teach us to release. It teaches us to accumulate, to preserve, to protect, to win. So we build walls, we collect attachments, and we confuse clinging with loyalty. But what if the highest form of loyalty was to truth, not to comfort? What if the true act of strength was not in holding on, but in consciously letting go? Shi Heng Yi reminds us that discipline is not only found in the repetition of action, but in the mastery of non-attachment. To practice spiritual discipline is to walk through life with open hands, knowing that everything you are given is temporary, that nothing belongs to you, not even your body. The only thing that truly belongs to you is your awareness. And it is through awareness that you begin to release what no longer serves. This month, as the world trembles, as change accelerates, as old structures collapse, you will be asked to let go. Let go of ideas you were raised with. Let go of emotional armor that once protected you, but now isolates you. Let go of the fear of being seen. Let go of the desire to be right. Let go of the fantasy that life was ever supposed to go exactly as you planned. These things are not punishment. These are invitations. Each one is an opportunity to lighten your load. Each one is a chance to return to the essence of who you really are. Letting go is not forgetting. It is not suppressing. It is remembering with clarity and choosing peace. It is not denying pain. It is blessing the pain for what it taught you and releasing the need to relieve it. When you let go, you are not discarding. You are acknowledging. You are honoring. And then you are allowing. You are allowing energy to move. You are allowing life to evolve. You are allowing yourself to breathe again. But the ego resists this. The ego thrives on control. The ego says, if I let go, I will lose everything. The soul whispers, if you don't let go, you will lose yourself. And that is the real danger. Not the loss of things, but the loss of your true self under the weight of unnecessary burdens. God did not send you here to carry what breaks you. He sent you to awaken. An awakening requires shedding. It requires surrender. It requires trust in a path that may not make logical sense, but feels deeply aligned. Letting go is not a one-time act. It is a daily practice. You wake up and you choose to forgive. You choose to release control. You choose to loosen your grip. Sometimes you succeed. Sometimes you fail. But the discipline is in the returning. It is in the practice, again and again, like a monk returning to the breath, like a warrior returning to the stance, like the tree that lets go of its leaves when autumn arrives, without resistance, without panic. According to Liz Bunk, love is resistance, like a tree that lets go of its leaves when autumn arrives, without resistance, like a tree that lets go of its leaves when autumn arrives, without resistance, like a tree that lets go of its leaves when autumn arrives, without resistance, like a tree that lets go of its leaves when autumn arrives, without resistance. It simply trusts the cycle. It surrenders to timing. It knows spring will come again. There is a subtle intelligence in letting go. It clears the clutter. It creates space. And in that space, something sacred happens. Insight arrives, energy shifts, truth emerges, but we must be willing to make room for it. And we make room by releasing what is no longer alive. Relationships that feel like obligation, careers that drain your spirit, habits that numb your awareness, identities that limit your soul. These are not badges of honor, they are anchors. And you were not meant to live anchored, you were meant to flow. The river does not resist the stone. It flows around it, it carves new paths, it transforms landscapes, but it must remain in motion. You too are meant to flow. But when you hold on to the past, you dam the river. You build walls inside your heart. You confuse the stillness of repression with the peace of liberation. These are not the same. True peace comes not from hiding, but from releasing. It is easy to say, let go when nothing is at stake. But letting go becomes sacred when everything feels like it is. When your heart trembles, when your breath shortens, when you are asked to walk away from something that once defined you. That is the spiritual discipline. That is the test. And in passing it, you don't become less, you become whole. You remember that who you are is not defined by what you hold on to. Who you are is revealed by what you are willing to release for the sake of truth. This month, perhaps you are being asked to let go of anger or bitterness or the idea that life owes you something. Perhaps you are being asked to let go of needing to be understood or needing to be in control or needing everything to make sense. These things seem small, but they are roots of suffering. When you release them, you soften, you align. You stop fighting with reality, and in doing so, you become powerful. Not in a worldly way, but in a deeply spiritual way. Letting go is a return to silence, a return to innocence, a return to the present moment. The past is a shadow, the future is a projection, only the now is real. But the now cannot breathe when it is crowded by all that you refuse to release. Letting go clears the field. It brings you back. It grounds you. And in that groundedness, you reconnect to source. God does not require you to be perfect. He requires you to be honest. And honesty means recognizing when you are gripping too tightly. It means admitting when something is over. It means grieving what was and blessing what could have been. But it also means moving forward, not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring more deeply about your soul's alignment than your ego's attachment. Many confuse letting go with giving up, but surrender is not defeat. It is collaboration with divine timing. It is the recognition that something higher is at work, that you do not need to force, to beg, to cling, to manipulate. What is meant for you will stay. What is not meant for you must go. And your peace will come, not from understanding the why, but from trusting the unfolding. That you do not need to force, to beg for you. From the dawn. From the dawn. From the dawn. And your peace will come not from understanding, but from trusting and being trusted. From loving, from trust, from trusting. Spiritual warriors walk light, not because they don't feel, but because they know how to release. They know that pain is a teacher, not a residence. They know that identity is fluid. They know that the journey requires shedding again and again and again. And in this, they find freedom. In this, they find peace. So this month, when something falls apart, let it. When someone walks away, release them. When a door closes, bow in gratitude. What is meant to remain will never need to be forced. And what is meant to go will not stay, no matter how tightly you hold. Letting go is not about loss. It is about alignment. It is about making space for what is real, for what is next, for what your soul has been quietly asking for. Next, let go of the idea that strength looks like never breaking. Sometimes strength is found in the tears you finally allow yourself to cry. Let go of the belief that healing has to be quick. Sometimes the deepest healing takes place in the quiet spaces of unhurried presence. Let go of the illusion that your worth depends on how much you can carry. You are not here to be a martyr. You are here to be a light. God may be shaking your life not to punish you, but to prepare you. Not to destroy, but to dissolve what was false. So let it fall, let it move, let it pass, and trust that what remains is real. What remains is strong. What remains is aligned with who you are becoming. Letting go is not the end of love. It is the beginning of self-love. It is the space where your spirit finally has room to stretch, to breathe, to expand. And in that space, you meet yourself again. The real you, the quiet you, the wise you. The you that never needed to hold on so tightly because it always knew. All that is real cannot be lost. This is your practice now, not just for today, not just for this month, but for life. To live with open hands, to walk with a soft heart, to trust the flow, to bless the endings. And to know that every time you let go, you rise a little lighter, a little clearer, a little more free.